Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, stillstudy.ng. My name is David Olaiwola, a safer spinal cord injury survivor, and this is my journey of resilience, faith, and healing. And in today's episode is very personal to me. It's about the moment my traction was finally removed after months in the hospital, and how that moment led me into a brand new beginning, my first physiotherapy journey. I'll be sharing the struggles, the pain, and the small wins, and the hope I found through it all. Now, if you ever felt like giving up, I believe this story will remind you that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. After months in the hospital bed, I thought removing traction would mean I would get my life back. But I was wrong. I tried to stay strong, but deep inside I was so scared. Scared of what tomorrow would look like. I asked myself, what was the point of all this pain if I still couldn't do anything for myself? I felt disappointed. But at the same time I was also grateful because while I laid in that ward, some people with less severe injuries than mine didn't survive, and I was discharged alive. So on the day of my discharge, I remembered I asked my doctor. I said, "What next?" And he gave me one word that changed everything: physiotherapy. He said, "That is your only chance. Do it rigorously, and you will get your functions back." And that's when my new beginning started. Physiotherapy was like going back to childhood. I had to depend on others for everything: bathing, eating, even using the bathroom. For someone like me who had been on the bed for months in the hospital, laying down there on the spot, sitting became so painful. It felt like fire burning through my body. It was so uncomfortable. And lifting my hands also was a mountain of pain. Everything I could do easily before became so difficult. My whole body seems different. The sensations, the way my body reacts to pain, it was like getting trapped in a baby's body. At some point, I couldn't even explain or tell how I'm feeling or why I'm feeling that way. I remembered every night we were filled with tears, days were filled with spasms and silence. Like, not to even talk of the burning sensation inside my body, the tingling in both hands and legs. The pain was just so much. I remember I questioned everything. I asked my doctor, my physiotherapy. I said, will I be able to walk again? Will my hands, my fingers, will they function again? I remembered many times I wanted to give up. But little by little, progress came. At first, it started with flickers, and gradually it became visible. And months, almost a year, I finally moved my hands again. It wasn't fast, it wasn't perfect, but at least it was mine. And during that process, I learned that every small progress is still progress. The cost was so high for my family, the cost of maintaining a continuous physio. I mean, both in clinic and private section. But I'm grateful to God and to people who made it possible for me to continue my physiotherapy, because God surrounded me with people who supported me when I needed it most. And that's why I'm still standing today. My journey isn't over. Physiotherapy continues. That's the only means to get my functions back and to be independent as much as possible, so as not to be dependent all my life. It's a school for mobility, but I'm grateful for every step forward. This was my new beginning, my first physiotherapy journey. So in my next video, I will show you what life looks like after the hospital, how I am learning how to feed myself again, to write again, and also how to turn on the bed on my own to avoid pressure sore. Also, how I am rebuilding my smile and confidence, one day at a time. So make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this with someone who needs encouragement today. I want you to remember this. If you are still standing, no matter how painful the journey feels, you are not alone. Bye.